What is up, Kick and Bass gang? It's your Techno Poppy, and today we're breaking down the FOMO flit of girls, which goes a little something like this.
Don't need nobody.
If you guys want to download the track, it's available on our SoundCloud. And if you want the sample pack sauce or to check out the project file on Patreon, links are in the description below. Let's get it. All right, let's take a look at these synths first here, because the foghorn is fucking ginormous. Alright, so the first thing we got in this little fake out on the first drop is a remake of the breakdown synth from the original. And the way that you could figure that out if you can't hear it is what you could do is just put an EQ on the original. So if you see this peak right, and then you could just drag the node around and see what notes it's hitting. And another trick you could even do is just slow down the BPM, and then it'll be easier to see. And then you're cooking, dude. So let's check out the sound itself. So it's just basic shapes, sine wave, and then a little bit less on the attack and a little bit of release on it. Then we have LFO 5 on vibrato right here. So that just gives it like more of a weird feel. And you kind of just got to drag around the rate to what feels right. In the effects, we just got a little bit of chorus just for some stereo width. And then we got RC20 just with a little bit of wobble, distortion, and magnetic. And then just some simple processing after that. So standard multiband comp. Then ducking out some of the mids here. And this erosion, which gives it a bunch of presence in the mix. So without this. So erosion on sine mode is good for like any like tiny sounds because it just adds harmonics in the high end, which we can see right here. So it's adding all this redux sine wave stuff in the top, and that's just going to give you more presence. Then we just have a little bit of delay and reverb. The next sound we have in the fake out is just a saw wave with the same melody, and then it drops down an octave on the second part. So, and this one is just going to be 2 saw waves, just like a traditional super saw with some OTT compression on it. Then sculpting it with an EQ, a texture to add noise. This is great for just adding noise to anything. So we have digital white noise. So this is just like a better erosion VST, and then you could filter the noise over here. So we just want it in the top end. So without this, so it just makes everything way more present. Then we just got OTT, a little bit of fab filter, and then just more sculpting stuff with some reverb and compression at the end. After that, we got this big ass foghorn. Let's check this out. Jesus. So this one again is just a super saw with an envelope opening up the filter. And then in the effects, we just got some dimension to make it wide and then an OTT. And then after that, overdrive just to pop it out where we want it in the mix. So we want it to be in the mids. Let's turn this off. Yes. Yeah, so that really gives it that like brassy feel. Then we just have a huge reverb with 6 seconds and then more just like OTT and stuff just to bring it out in the mix with an LFO tool at the end. Then we got a couple more synths that are just reinforcing the rhythm when all the drums come in. So we got the acid synth just playing the root note, and then another big saw just playing the root note. And you could see these kind of have like a call and response relationship between each other. So when the acid stops playing is when I bring in the big saw, just so they reinforce the rhythm. And then we just have this donk stab, which is like the same sort of sound that they use in the original. All right, let's check out the kick and the bass next. So we got 2 kicks going on here and then a rolling bass. So the first kick is just gonna be the sub with pretty much nothing on it. And then I duplicated it with just the attack just to reinforce the transient. And then on the group, we just have a little bit of ducking just to get rid of the boxiness over here in 300 range. And then a transient master to just bring out more of the transient. Then we got the rolling bass underneath that. So this is just a preset from the Kick and Bass Hybrid Techno Pack. It's just a bunch of saw waves. The second one is the same octave as the first one, but I cut out the fundamental just so we don't have any stereo information in the sub. And then I detuned it just to give it some stereo width. And then everything is controlled by LFO1 to give it the 16th note rhythm. And then just some simple effects. And in post, we got the Everything Thick OTT. And then just some EQ just to carve out some of the stuff we don't need. And bass punch in parallel just to glue it together. Not really doing much. And then LFO tool just for sidechain. Huge. Then for the tops group, we just have one top loop that comes in after 4 bars. And then another one that comes in after 8. On the group processing, we got overdrive just to give them the same tone. Then EQ8 just to get rid of some of the lows. And then an Ozone 11 stabilizer just to get rid of any sort of resonance that's in it. And then some more EQ and a clip at the end. Below that, we got the vocals in the drop. So I just took out the little girls chop. And then I have different delays that turn on different parts of the drop. So if you just do a quarter note delay with no feedback on it and some sort of filter, it adds a shit ton of bounce on it. And then this turns on for just the B part of the drop. And then in the second drop, we have a different delay that turns on. So it's just a triplet delay on ping pong mode with a little bit of feedback. And then other than that, it's pretty much just chopping up the original. And I just have one more effect that I did on the pre-drop vocals in the second drop.
Girls don't need no.
Yeah, so I just used the manipulator, took the pitch down an octave and a little bit of formants down just to add some variation.
Girls don't need no.
Oh, and then a huge part, which adds to the impact of the drop, is the pitch drop down. Yeah, so on the master, I just have a pitch drop that activates on the last quarter note before the drop, and it just fucking drags you into the fucking foghorn, baby. Then other than that, it's pretty much just a simple arrangement, and then we just have impact for the effects when the breakdown hits, and then an energy booster, which is a kick and bass preset that just happens on certain portions of the drop, and then it acts as a riser in the buildup. Yeah, so in the builds, I just have actually everywhere, I just have the pitch going up over an octave just to add motion to certain sections to bring you in to the meat sauce, dudes. And then lastly for the master, I just have the Ozone 11 limiter on clipping mode just to make sure everything's loud as fuck and pretty much nothing else. So you just gotta mix well, baby. Let's hit it one more time for the people.
Don't need nobody.
All right, gang, that's gonna do it for the track breakdown. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we could pump up those numbies. And if you wanna check out Alchemist Volume 2 or the project file on Patreon, links are below. Peace.